Good morning. Today is Monday, October 20th. This is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia. After a rainy and relatively cooler weekend, temperatures are set to rise back up for today. Highs will be in the low 90s. Warm, dry, and breezy conditions will create an elevated fire threat, mainly west of the I-35 corridor. Collin County is known for being a Republican stronghold and the home base of conservative Attorney General Ken Paxton. It's also where thousands of demonstrators lined the streets for No Kings protests against the Trump administration. We'll hear more after the news. Early voting begins today across Texas, with much of the ballot taken up by constitutional amendments. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says 7 of the 17 ballot propositions deal with reining in property taxes.
Proposition 13 would raise the homestead exemption for school property taxes for all Texas homeowners to $140,000. Proposition 11 would give an additional $50,000 break on those taxes to homeowners who are over 65 or disabled. University of Houston economist Stephen Craig says all those exemptions add up.
Our heart can go out to all kind of people, and then the question is this the way to help them, or is there a better way to help them? As you whittle away against the property tax, you're setting it up so that the property tax stops working.
Other property tax exemptions on the ballot would apply to house fire victims, spouses of deceased veterans, and property owners affected by border security infrastructure. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
Demonstrators rallied in Dallas's Oaklawn neighborhood on Saturday against a recent directive from Governor Greg Abbott targeting rainbow crosswalks. KERA's Dylan Duke reports the protesters demanded the city request an exemption for the crosswalks.
Abbott earlier this month threatened to withhold funding from cities if they don't remove street designs with, quote, political or ideological messages. CeCe Cox is the CEO of the Resource Center, which serves the LGBTQ+ community. She said the rainbow crosswalks aren't political.
We have not turned this into a political issue. Others have tried to hoist a political issue on us, but this is a cultural symbol of pride of our community.
Cox said the broad language of Abbott's order could affect any design that is, quote, non-standard. Cities have until November 7th to respond to the directive or risk losing state and federal funding. For KERA News, I'm Dylan Duke in Dallas.
Thousands of people lined the suburban streets of Collin County for the No Kings protest against the Trump administration. KERA's Caroline Love reports the region is known for being a Republican stronghold, but Democrats say the recent population growth is to their advantage.
Protesters of all ages waved homemade signs in the rain along Preston Road in Plano, where drivers honked and waved in support as they drove by. In Frisco, families brought their kids to the protest. The crowd lined a busy street outside a strip mall with shops and drive-thrus. McKinney protesters were packed along the North Central Expressway, their signs enclosed damp from the rain. A protester wearing a Scottish kilt walks up and down the sidewalk playing bagpipes for the crowd. Caroline Hong says she wasn't expecting such a large group of people to show up for protests against President Donald Trump in McKinney. Trump won 55% of Collin County's vote last year, a 4% increase from his 2020 margin.
I'm just impressed that McKinney's even having a No Kings protest.
Collin County is known for being the home base for conservative Attorney General Ken Paxton. The Republican U.S. Senate candidate lives in McKinney. It's also home to Democratic State Representative Mihaela Plisa from Plano. Democrats point to Plisa's success as an example of partisan shifts in the area. She was the first Democrat elected to the state house from Collin County in 30 years when she won in 2022. Jenny Colombo says she noticed a political shift in Plano the last decade. Colombo says she was pleasantly surprised by the turnout at the Plano No Kings protest.
It's such a diverse population here now. It's wonderful.
Collin County is one of the fastest growing areas in the nation, according to the Census Bureau. The area has a large immigrant population. It's not unusual to hear people conversing in different languages. About a third of the county speaks a language besides English at home, according to census data. Collin County isn't the only part of Texas where this trend is occurring. North Texas Democratic Congresswoman Julie Johnson told KERA in a previous interview Fort Bend County outside of Houston and Williamson County outside of Austin have similar populations.
You're seeing incredible diversity, a lot of immigrant communities who are not happy with what the Trump administration is doing.
Johnson represents Texas Congressional District 32. It used to be a historically Democratic district that covered a small part of Collin County and a quarter of Dallas County, but that changed after redistricting. The majority of Johnson's current constituents are Black and Latino, but the district's new boundaries cover parts of North Texas that are mostly white and rural. Texas recently passed a new congressional district map after Trump called for a rare mid-decade redistricting that would add 5 Republicans to the U.S. House of Representatives. State House Republicans use population data from the 2020 census for the new maps. Johnson says the state's population has grown since then.
And I don't think that the numbers that the Republicans are using to draw these seats, they should not be as confident in their margins that they believe they've buffered in as they are.
At the Plano protest, Elise Saunders says the turnout shows people across the political spectrum in the area are concerned about the direction the country is going.
I think that what this says is that even conservatives can recognize that we should not have a dictator, we should not have a king.
Midterm elections are a year away, and as political tensions continue to boil, voters in historically conservative suburban areas like Collin County could be the deciding factor for Texas politics. For KERA News, I'm Caroline Love in Collin County.
The Cowboys scored twice as much as they allowed yesterday afternoon as they really walloped the division rival Washington Commanders 44-22. They now secure second place in the NFC East behind the Philadelphia Eagles. They take on the Broncos next week. The Dallas chapter of the American Institute of Architects hosts its tour of homes this weekend as residents throughout Dallas, including the Turtle Creek, Preston Hollow, and Oak Cliff neighborhoods. The self-guided tours showcase a variety of architectural designs, everything from a modern hacienda with a motor court to a restored historic home that blends preservation with modern living. To see details and more arts events, head to the Go See DFW calendar at keranews.org/calendar. Thanks for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. You'll get a more in-depth look into the news with plenty of good morning vibes. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.